From the Collins Aerospace Studio at the Nordloff Center in downtown Rockford, it's time for Bergstrom State Line Quiz Bowl.
Hello and welcome to Bergstrom State Line Quiz Bowl. I'm your host, Greg Peterson. In today's matchup, we have two teams in Oregon and Guilford that have been here from the very start, but have never played each other. And last year, they both got knocked out in the first round, so one of them will be changing that today. Let's go ahead and meet the teams. Leland, you're the Oregon captain. Go ahead and introduce them.
Thank you. Hello, my name's Leland. I'm captain of the Oregon High School Scholastic Bowl team. To my left is Edward, to my right is Eleanor, and to my far right is Lee.
Welcome. And over in blue, we've got Guilford. Manolo, go ahead and introduce your team.
Hi, I'm Manolo Chavez, captain of the Guilford Quiz Bowl team. On my far left is Jamie, on my left is Caden, and on my right is Denny.
Welcome to you as well. We start, as always, with the buzz-in round, which is brought to you by Rockford University, and I think we know how the rules work, so let's go ahead and just dive in. Good luck to both teams. Here we go. What hero, whose parents, Thomas and Martha, were murdered in front of him as a child, that's Jamie,
Batman,
is correct. What MLB team employs Stephen Kwan and Jose Ramirez, plays at Progressive Field, and changed its nickname in 2022 to avoid Native American imagery? That is Edward.
The Washington Redskins.
Sorry, no. Guilford with a chance to buzz. Time, around the same time, but baseball, it's the Cleveland Guardians. Next question. What jazz trumpeter and longtime director of jazz at Lincoln Center composed the jazz oratorio, Blood on the Fields? That's Manolo.
Miles Davis.
Sorry, no. And that's time. Bit of a tough one there, but very important man, Wynton Marsalis. Next question. What western state is home to Mount Mazama and the volcano Mount Scott, which are both in Crater Lake National Park? It's governed from Salem. That is Eleanor.
Oregon.
Is correct for Oregon. What monarch depicted in the Rainbow Portrait employed Frances Walsingham and never married, leading to her being known as the Virgin Queen? Eleanor?
Elizabeth I.
Is correct. Hassan Nasrallah led what political group and militia based in Lebanon that supports Palestine and opposes Israel?
Hamas.
Denny? Say again?
Hamas?
No, sorry. That's time. In Lebanon, it's Hezbollah. Next question. What modern-day country, home to expressionist movements called the Blue Rider and Die Brücke, was where Walter Gropius founded the Bauhaus in Weimar? Edward.
Germany.
Is correct. Under leaders like Osceola, what indigenous people fought 3 wars against the U.S. to defend their homes in Florida? Leland?
The Seminoles.
Is right. What law holds up to the elastic limit, is named for an English scientist, and is expressed as F equals minus kx, where k is the spring constant? That's not in time, sorry, Eleanor. It's Hooke's law is the spring one. What chemical element's atomic symbol is derived from the same Latin word as plumbing? Denny?
Lead.
There you go. That's why it's PB. What Greek stole ambrosia from the gods, tried to feed his son Pelops to them, and was punished with an eternity just out of reach of fruit and water? That's Eleanor.
Tantalus.
Is correct. The name of what type of flower appears 4 times in a line from Gertrude Stein's poem, Sacred Emily? No guesses there. The line is, a rose is a rose is a rose is a rose. That's literally the line. What TV show, which spawned 2 spin-offs featuring Isabel May as the narrator Elsa, titled 1883 and 1923, is a neo-western starring that's Leland.
Yellowstone.
Is correct. What queen succeeded her half-brother Edward VI after wresting control of England from the supporters of Lady Jane Grey? That's time. Earlier we had Elizabeth, now it's Mary the First. What city, which Francis I of France retook in the Battle of Marignano in 1515, was long ruled by the Visconti and Sforza families in northern Italy? Caden?
Wait. Oh. I didn't mean to click it.
Oh.
Sorry.
Sorry, that's time. Oregon with a chance to steal? Edward?
Venus.
No, this is Milan. And that is the end of the round. So we're off to a good start here. Oregon with 60, Guilford with 20, and a round of commercials right now. And welcome back to Bergstrom State Line Quiz Bowl. It will be time for the volleyball round, but before we get there, I'd like to thank our judge today, who is Michelle Markham, the Public Information Officer for the Rockford Police Department. Michelle, thank you for your help today and making sure everything is on the level. Now for the volleyball round. Teamwork questions. I need all the answers coming from the captains. Guilford, you're going to have the first question. Both teams look ready. Let's roll. Guilford, what Bohemian-born composer of the Doomkey Trio in E minor used themes inspired by spirituals he heard while visiting Iowa in his New World Symphony?
Go for it. I don't have no clue. This is some American.
Pass.
Okay, this is Dvorak, Antonin Dvorak. Oregon, what Alabama governor who was shot by Arthur Bremer while running for president made the stand in the schoolhouse door to impose integration? Time on that. That's George Wallace. Back to Guilford. What man, to whom Charles II granted land in America in exchange for debt relief, led Quakers in founding a namesake colony led from Philadelphia?
William Penn.
Is right. Oregon. The Sundarbans are a mangrove forest that lies on what bay, the world's largest?
Chesapeake.
No, this is the Bay of Bengal. We're in India and Bangladesh here. Guilford, what number is sometimes called Archimedes' constant, is the number of radians equal to 180 degrees, and is an irrational number equal to about 3.14?
Pi.
Yes. Over to Oregon. In July 2024, Italian police seized 42 tons of a product falsely labeled as what good, whose common varieties include one called EVOO. That is a giant theft of olive oil there. Guilford, what school of psychology, a focus of the book Beyond Freedom and Dignity, included John Watson and operant conditioning researcher B.F. Skinner?
Johns Hopkins school. Right? Any school?
Classical literature?
This one's called behaviorism.
Oh.
Tough one there. Oregon. What director of film adaptations of The BFG and Ready Player One fictionalized his upbringing in the 2022 film The Fabelmans? That's time. That's Steven Spielberg there. Guilford. What 105-day war in which Simo Häyhä had over 500 sniper kills ended with Finland ceding land to the USSR in 1940 and was named for a season?
Winter Wars.
Winter War?
Yeah. Weird time to invade Finland, but there you go. Oregon. What term describes types of stored energy that can be 100% converted to kinetic energy?
Potential.
Is right. And that's the last question of the round, but good get at the buzzer there, Oregon. So we are looking at a 70-50 score. Nice close game. It'll be headed into the lightning round, but now it's time for the Bergstrom bonus question. See you in a moment.
Led by Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, which NBA franchise captured their 18th title this past season?
And welcome back. It's time for the Bergstrom bonus question, where the stakes are either higher or lower than they normally are. You're playing for a pizza and pasta party courtesy of Salomone's Italian Restaurant. One question on the buzzer. Here we go. Led by Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, which NBA franchise captured their 18th title this That's Leland.
The Boston Celtics.
Is right. So congratulations, you've won your team a pizza and pasta party courtesy of Salamone's Italian Restaurant. We'll be back with the lightning rounds after this. And welcome back for the lightning round, which is powered as always by IBEW Nika. These lightning rounds, they're fast moving, they're teamwork, and there's 3 different categories for you and your team to pick from, Leland. That's the nervous system, numerical novels, or fictional redheads.
Nervous system?
Nervous system, okay. I'm gonna ask you to answer the following about the nervous system. You've got 60 seconds on the clock, you've got 10 questions. Here we go. The largest part of the brain above the cerebellum.
Frontal lobe?
No. Division of the nervous system contrasted with the central nervous system.
Auxiliary?
No. Type of nerve that relays information to the brain.
Central?
No. Spaces that separate neurons.
Synapses?
Yes. Part of the brain often described as oblongata.
Brainstem?
No. Substance that forms a sheath around many nerves.
Membrane?
No. Neurotransmitter often called the feel-good hormone.
Serotonin?
No. Nervous system division activated in a fight or flight response. And we are out of time there. So tough round on biology there, but you did get one of them for 10 points, which means that everything but that one is coming your way, Guilford, and you've got 30 seconds to get through it. So answer the following about the nervous system. The largest part of the brain above the cerebellum.
Cerebrum?
Yes. Division of the nervous system contrasted with the central nervous system.
Pass.
Type of nerve that relays information to the brain.
Neuron?
No. Part of the brain often described as oblongata.
Medulla?
Yes. Substance forming a sheath around many nerves.
Myelin?
Yes. Neurotransmitter often called the feel-good hormone.
Dopamine?
Yes. Nervous system division activated in a fight or flight response.
Amygdala?
No. Lobes in the back of the brain involved in vision.
Temporal?
No, and that is time. So you got 4 of those correct. So nice job too, with only limited time to work. Let's get some answers there. There's the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. When a nerve relays information to the brain, if you think about what that's doing, that's called a sensory nerve. Then jumping down, fight or flight response is the sympathetic nervous system, it's called. The lobes in the back that are vision related are occipital lobes. And then one that we haven't heard yet, membranes surrounding the brain, one of which is the dura mater. Those are all meninges. So real tough round there, but we got 5 of them between us. It's now time for Guilford to take their pick of categories. Guilford, what you have left are numerical novels and fictional redheads.
We'll take fictional redheads.
Okay. Name these fictional characters with red hair. I think we felt that was coming. 60 seconds, 10 questions. Here we go. Harry Potter's best friend.
Ron Weasley.
Yes. Singer of Part of Your World in The Little Mermaid.
Ariel.
Yes. A member of the Mystery Gang with Fred, Velma, Shaggy, and Scooby-Doo.
Daphne.
Yes. Teenage spy who fought Shigo and Dr. Draken on a Disney...
Kim Possible.
Yes. Adopted by Daddy Warbucks in a namesake Broadway musical.
Annie.
Yes. The heroine of the 2012 Pixar film Brave.
Merida.
Yes. The oldest of the Rugrats babies.
Chucky.
Yes. Supervises elementary school field trips aboard the Magic School Bus.
Mrs. Frizzle.
Yes. American Greetings character who shares her name with a fruit-based dessert.
Strawberry Shortcake.
Yes. Rose Leslie's character on Game of Thrones.
Pass.
Rose Leslie's character on Game of Thrones.
No answer?
That's time anyway. So well done on that. And as you noticed, you'd gotten to question 10 before you passed. So 10 is coming back your way, Oregon. You have 30 seconds to name, I suppose I should say it in the singular, this fictional character with red hair. Rose Leslie's character on Game of Thrones.
Pass.
Rose Leslie's character on Game of Thrones.
Samantha.
No. And we're out of time. Rose Leslie on Game of Thrones is the wildling called Ygritte. So that's a hard one there, but very strong performance in that round from Guilford. Well done. I think sometimes the categories just happen to break that way, but we've got a lot of game left to play because everything in the next round is going to be worth 20 points on every single question. So we'll see you for the final challenge right after this. And welcome back. Now, in today's episode of Bergstrom State Line Quiz Bowl, it is time for the final challenge, which is brought to you by Mercy Health. We've got a 100-point margin here, and that can change really fast because everything is a 20-point buzzer question here. Good luck, both teams. Let's roll. What singer followed up her 2023 album, The Rise and Fall of a Midwest Princess, with the That Is Manolo?
Chappelle Roan.
Yes. The furthest planet visited by Voyager 2 is what body that sometimes displays a great dark spot and is Edward?
Jupiter.
Sorry, no. And is orbited by the moons Nereid and Triton. Sam?
Saturn.
No, it's Neptune. Next question. What character agonizes about a bloodstain on his sock after he murders a pawnbroker and a witness in Fyodor Dostoevsky's novel Crime and Punishment? Leland?
I don't know if I'm going to say this right, but Raskolnikov.
No, sorry. That's time. You're close, but too far off, I'm afraid. Raskolnikov, it's a K, not a sh. Next question. What novel in which nuns at the Petit Picpus convent educate Cosette centers on former prisoner Jean Valjean and was written by, that's Sam?
Les Miserables.
Is correct. What architectural style that uses lavish ornamentation with a modern industrial influence is exemplified by the Chrysler Building? Time. That one's Art Deco, is what that is. What city, whose oldest building is the Al Fahidi Fort, has a Tom Wright designed hotel called the Burj Al Arab on a man-made island and is in the UAE? Denny?
Dubai.
Is right. What 19th century philosopher who collaborated with his wife Harriet Taylor to write The Subjection of Women was a utilitarian? That's John Stuart Mill there. What riots, whose participants included Marsha P. Johnson, that's Reese?
The Stonewall Riots?
Stonewall Riot, great buzz. Edward Bulwer Lytton's book, Paul Clifford, begins by describing the weather with what 7-word phrase, which is now emblematic of cliched first lines? Manolo?
It was a dark and stormy night.
It was. What cabinet member who was criticized for not visiting East Palestine after a 2023 disaster is the first gay man to be Secretary of Transportation? That's Reese.
Pete Buttigieg?
Yes. Interactions between groups without a common language spur the creation of what simple shared languages, which may, that's Denny.
Pigeon language.
Well done, yes. What poet claimed that God is served by those who only stand and wait in the sonnet on his blindness and described Eve's temptation in Paradise Lost? That's Denny?
Dante's.
No, sorry. Gwen?
Smith.
No, worth a try though. That one's John Milton. And that's the end of the game. So Oregon, you played really well, and then they just turned on the afterburners at the end there. It's been a pleasure having you. Hope to see you back next season. Guilford, close until the end, but then you pulled away. Nice finish there. We'll see you in a couple months, and we'll see you all next week.